SimWorld presents Around the Table with E and the Fat Man.
What's up, everybody? It's me, it's the B.O.B., and I am here with my man, E. How are you doing today?
I am doing well, and I'm excited to have a special guest, special visitor with us on the show this weekend, Coach Dodge of the Originators, the one and only, and one of our original coaches here. Excited to have her here, excited to get some questions, and welcome, Coach Dodge.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, we're glad to have you. We're glad that you could do this with us today. So this is Around the Table. That is E. I am the Fat Man, and usually we just talk about random stuff, but like he said, this is a special episode. Yeah. We're going to do 21 questions with Coach Dodge.
Yep, can't just be random and tangent off however we like. Yeah. We got a set list of stuff to get through today, folks, because Coach Dodge, you're going to remember from last year, took Johnny Baldwin to new heights, most certainly. Became one of the more well-known coaches within SimWorld, coming back this year to lead the Originators, as they are now branded, and we're excited to have her on and learn a little bit more about the woman behind the clipboard today. So,
hey, it's 2022, Eric. Don't assume.
It's true. We
should ask her. I'm just kidding. Let's go ahead and jump right into the questions, right? So
let's do it.
What was the most fun thing about coaching the Originators last year?
I think I'm new to basketball, so this has been a learning experience for me in general. So that's been a lot of fun, just learning the game.
Yeah.
But Johnny Baldwin, of course, watching him become a star and just go to new heights was just fun. That was like the best part of the year.
Oh, you're watching him become Johnny Ball game.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it might be that your answer to this is a lot the same, but what was the most frustrating thing about coaching the team and getting involved in SimWorld last year?
Oh, it still haunts me to this day. So when we were playing against Gotham, or formerly New York, we were neck and neck in that game, and instead of my starting lineup hitting the court, all the players that I didn't want on there, including players that I had benched for the year, hit the court, and that we lost it. That was the end of that game for us.
Oh, yeah.
Good answer.
Yeah, I remember that because I remember Kevin Sullivan got benched a few games before that, and he came onto the court, and things just kind of fell apart from there. Johnny Baldwin tried his best. I think that game went to overtime, didn't it, Eric?
I believe that's correct.
Yeah,
if my memory serves me.
I think that was the game that Johnny set the single game record for points in a game. I think it was 45.
Yeah, it was in the 40s. I remember that. It was It was beyond Cooper Kingy Cross level, and that's always impressive. So,
oh yeah. Well, Coach Dodge, do you having that? I won't say a full season because you kind of came in a little bit after. Do you have a coach or a team that you consider your arch rivals from when you started?
So I'm going to steal a line from Coach Bilardi from his interview where he said that he didn't have any arch rivals, but respected rivals. I think that's the best way to put it. I think both Coach Bilardi and Coach Murray were both excellent at what they did. I wanted to be as good as them. I wanted that my team to have the same amount of respect when you heard my team's name, but I don't consider them arch rivals, just kind of inspiration.
Good answer. And I think that's some good company to be keeping for rivals. A good peer group to have there, certainly. Coach Murray and Coach Bilardi certainly did well last year. Well, Coach, obviously stuck with the Originators, doing a second season with them there. Do you long-term look to stay there, or is there another job you'd consider leaving for, another team, or maybe leveling up college or pro, or do you want to stay where you are and work with these younger kids?
Well, I think I love my team, so I want to stay in the area preferably, but I know my limitations. Right now, I don't have the skill to move beyond where I am, but I wouldn't count it out in the future when I know what I'm doing and I'm more established in the basketball world.
That's respectable. I mean, you don't want to move too fast. Don't want to move too slow either. Don't want to get stuck where you are. But is there any personal hoops moment that you can remember that really sticks out to you, whether it was you on the court or watching or playing a game or anything, as long as it has someone or something to do with basketball?
Yeah, so when Bones Highland was drafted by the Nuggets or when Mo Alley Cox signed with the Colts, I don't see my alma mater getting a whole lot of recognition. And so for me, anytime my alma mater gets somebody who goes pro, I get really excited about that. And then as far as SimWorld goes, when Johnny Baldwin caught that assault charge last season, it was just such an impressive dunk, and it was good for a laugh too. So that was fun.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that New York fans were waiting outside for him after that one.
So we're kind of going to sneak a bonus question in here, go off script, but I guess from your answer there that you are a VCU alumnus, is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, Virginia Commonwealth. There we go. What's the nickname? What are they? Remind me.
They're the Rams.
Rams. Okay, yes, was blanking on that for a second. Well,
Eric, this is 21 questions, not
I know,
up as many
22.
questions as you want.
I know. Well, I got curious. It was a good answer, and it stoked my curiosity. Had to get in there, but you're right. Let me get back on script because we do want to know. You mentioned that you're relatively new to basketball, and I think that's fine and cool. But is there anybody out there that you sort of have as a role model, as a coach? Is there anybody, that, and I suppose this can even go outside of basketball, that you see as somebody you'd like to emulate?
No, not so much. Honestly, I'm just winging it at this point. I'm just doing the best, trying to figure out what's working, what doesn't work, and that's just where I'm at with it at this point.
Hey, I think being the first Coach Dodge is as cool as trying to be the second Coach Pat Riley or something like that. So that's all good.
Well, if you don't necessarily try and model your coaching style after anybody in particular, do you have a favorite coach? And I'll kind of stick with what Eric said. It doesn't have to be basketball related. Just, do you have a favorite coach in general?
As far as basketball goes, I did like Shaka Smart when he coached at VCU, but I am still slightly bitter that he left us for Texas.
Yeah, he did.
It didn't last long. That didn't last long, did it?
No, it did not.
No. But my favorite coach overall, I'm a Washington Capitals fan. So Coach Boudreau, he's funny, he's humble, he doesn't have to be slick, like a hot shot coach. He just was who he was, and he didn't apologize for it. So I really just love the way he's coached and just him in general.
Yeah, it was kind of a shame that he didn't get a championship with them.
Yeah, I think we could have. I just think the player lineup was the wrong lineup, not so much the coaching.
Yeah, no, that can happen.
Well, we just learned some interesting things about Coach Dodge, but maybe if you have two more you could share with us, just personal things. Doesn't have to be basketball or even sports related necessarily. Like, anything about your background. We got the VCU tidbit or a hobby or some fun fact about you to share with SimWorld.
Yeah. So I'm deathly afraid of anything that has a stinger. I had bald-faced hornets building a nest in the eaves of my house a few years ago, and ever since then, it's gotten 100 times worse. So that's
quick interjection. Yeah, you don't need to have a stinger phobia to be afraid of a nest of bald-faced hornets. I don't think. I think that's a legit fear for anybody. Oh my Lord.
And I'm hyper flexible, so I can do things like bend my thumbs back to my forearms, and some of my joints sound like snapping rubber bands. It's just weird, but
double jointed. Is that fair to say, or just highly flexible?
I'm double jointed for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. All right. No,
I can barely put my thumb straight up.
Fair enough.
Well, what are we, about a third of the way through the NBA season, Eric?
Yeah, I'd say that's about right.
We're about a third of the way through the season. Do you have any predictions for the end of the season, Coach Dodge?
I'm just going to go with my Boston roots, and I'm going to say the Celtics are going to take the championship. That's all I've got.
They're a contender.
Yeah,
they're in the mix for it for sure. That's not a bad suggestion.
No, wouldn't be surprised to see them in the championship, but they are going to lose to the Sixers, so don't hold your breath.
Well, let's get your crystal ball back out, Coach. And what do you see for SimWorld this season? Have you kind of any of the teams forming out there? And obviously, players still moving, recruiting still happening. But don't know if any of the SimWorld squads have caught your eye. And of course, want to get your opinion on how you see the Originators faring this year. Got to reload without Johnny Baldwin in the lineup.
I think we're going to see a lot of really good things from all the coaches. I think we've all grown since last season. I'm excited to see what new coaches come into. But I think since I did take over mid-season last year, I think this year you're going to see some better stats from us and hopefully see us a little higher in the rankings than last year.
Remember this moment, folks. She said she's going to win the championship. The race to one.
That's right. Just guaranteed it, Joe Namath style, right? Joe Namath style, right there.
Well, oh geez, sorry, I forgot we were doing this back and forth, Eric.
It's your turn, Bob.
So, kind of steering away a little bit from basketball or sports in general. Maybe, I guess technically there could be a sports answer to this question. Do you have a favorite all-time TV series or anything? Like not a movie, not one of those one-off like specials or anything like that, but do you have a favorite series of all time?
I have two, and I can't pick between them. So it would for me be The Office and Parks and Rec. Both of those are just great.
Agreed. Good shows, all kind of infinitely rewatchable as well, which is a good aspect of it.
I'll be honest, the only one that I've watched all the way through was Parks and Rec. I need to finish The Office. I don't know how far into it I got, but it was funny. I'm just I don't know.
You got to finish that, Bob, and then you got to get on that UK version with Ricky Gervais. It's good too.
You know what? I'm not gonna. I don't.
Can't get you there.
I don't know. I know you. I know you spent some time over on the other side of the world. Man, I don't know. I don't know if I can stick out a British. I can't do the accents, man.
Too many accents. Fair enough. Well, Coach, we've kind of drifted away from the basketball here and more onto the personal side of Coach Dodge. Is there a partner or a potential partner, perhaps, in Coach Dodge's life, or you a bit more of a solo flyer?
I do have a husband. We've been together for a long time. He's hilarious. He's supportive of this, and he's just amazing overall. So, yep, I am taken.
You heard that, coaches and players.
Yeah,
I guess
that's
if it was players, that'd be a little scary if it was any of the players. But coaches, she's off the market. So I guess Eric, we gotta close the door on that one.
keep looking, Bob. Keep looking.
Hey, I'm married. What are you talking? And you got someone too. We don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah, well, all right, fine. We'll take it offline.
Well, let's jump back into basketball a little bit. And I think this is probably, of all the teams in SimWorld, I think this is probably the most obvious answer that we're going to get, Eric. I think we can kind of see where this one's going, but we could be surprised. I don't know. So of your former pupils, obviously you've only been there for 1 year, but of your former pupils, do you have anybody that you think is going to have the best pro career?
I have a good guess.
I'm going to give you the obvious answer.
Kevin Sullivan. Just kidding.
Right.
I think Johnny Baldwin is going to have the best pro career, but I do think that Malcolm Oliver and Stacey Van Arsdale are both also going to do really good things.
I'm so glad you brought up Stacey Van Arsdale. He was quietly one of my favorite players last year. He was just a good, solid kid. Going on to Arkansas, which has kind of become a basketball powerhouse these days. And you're right. And I haven't forgotten about big Malcolm Oliver too, 7'1", but really was what enabled Johnny Baldwin to kind of go off, play a little bit more of a forward position rather than a kind of true post, stretch out to the four. And I think he was more effective there than if he had to be, playing more as a true center for you last year. But enough about me and my opinions. let's get back to you. You lost, Johnny Baldwin, who clearly was the number one option on offense, the star of the team last year. You have anybody who you think is going to kind of, I'm not going to say take over the Johnny Baldwin star role, but be the focal point of the Originators coming this year?
So we still have 2 spots to fill. So not going to say this is my definite answer, but I'm going to give you the obvious answer on this one too. Everyone's expecting DJ Wagner to be my main focal point. He's definitely going to be one of them, but I very much want all of my kids to be stars, so I'm hoping to put the focus on them each at the right time.
No, I think that's a good answer. Obviously, you have to. There's obviously a fine balance between having a star player like DJ Wagner, which he might have, or not might. He has a lot more star power than Johnny Baldwin, and that's before he even came to SimWorld. But yeah, I mean, it's if you focus on one guy, and unfortunately, I think a lot of teams, including the Originators, found out last year when you focus on one player being your star. If a team figures it out, you might get bounced a little earlier in the championship tournament than you might have thought. But not to open up that wound or anything.
Right.
Are there any philosophical changes or anything that you guys might be making next year?
So, I mean, I think every year I'm going to have to make changes depending on who comes and goes. But there are changes ahead. I just don't have any of them set in stone yet.
Okay.
She does not want to. Doesn't want to give any. Doesn't want to give anybody any ideas.
keep it flexible and keep it close to the chest, sort of Coach Belichick style, right?
There you go.
I get it. Yeah. Well, mentioned a few of your favorites earlier, so maybe we'll come back to Mo Alley Cox or similar here. But all-time, do you have an all-time favorite athlete? Somebody that you've really kind of admired? Maybe something from childhood that stuck with you, or maybe more recent. I don't know, but anybody who just kind of, regardless of sport, regardless of whatever, you just love to watch.
Happy Gilmore. No, actually, my very favorite all-time player is Dominic Hasek.
Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't say Ovechkin, and there was recently that big landmark with him and the local attachment and everything. I really actually thought that was going to be the answer there.
I am actually not a huge Ovechkin fan. I want to play against him, but he's not my favorite player.
Interesting. Okay.
The Dominic Hasek answer hits close to home for me, as he was with the Red Wings for a little bit.
Yes, he was. I remember those days.
He was. If anybody, it doesn't matter if you like hockey or not. Go look up some Dominic Hasek highlights and just watch him flopping around like a fish out there. It worked. It worked. He
was nicknamed the Dominator for a reason. Yes.
Well, so going away from, obviously we focused on. I lost my words again here, Eric. Jesus. Moving away from.
In. You need to jump in. You can tag me in.
I don't know what's going on. I might need to. So, is there a particular player? We're going to jump back to basketball. Is there a particular player all time, regardless of whether they played in the pros or not, that if you were building a team that you would want to build around a particular player?
So this might be another obvious answer, but I'm going Shaq. He's dominant. I think he'd be fun to coach. And as I'm sure you guys know, I want a positive atmosphere for my team. So starting with someone that has a good attitude, who can bring some comedic relief, I think is a good place to start for me.
Definitely, definitely not going to miss out on any comedy with Shaq being on a team.
and you say it's an obvious answer, but at the same time, I think that weirdly, in a way, Shaq is, as far as a top 10 all-time player, which I believe he is, kind of, in a way, sort of oddly not respected. In that I don't think people throw him out as greatest center or one of the greatest players of all times. And quickly to tangent on this, I think if you look at the single seasons he put together, particularly when he and Kobe were winning titles with the Lakers, I'm not sure that there have been any single season peak performances more dominant in the NBA than peak Shaq, which isn't to say his career was as good as, let's say, Kareem's career over the long haul or something like that. But to take a peak player and to play him for one season, I'm not sure that anybody was ever more destructive and dominant a force in basketball than Shaq O'Neal.
I'll say, I just want to say, because I know you like to transition quick on me, Eric, and I want to get what I want to say in here. I'll say, me and our owner here, Ron Yell, we actually had a little bit of a conversation the other night regarding Shaq. And it's funny, one thing you made me think of it, Eric, is dominant, single season domination. He, at peak, if there was any player in the history of the NBA, if I was building a team, at their peak, I would pick Shaq. But it's interesting because I think we look back at him and there was still a lot of potential there. And what me and Raniella talked about was if he lived up to his potential and what he could actually do, I mean, I think we're looking at like a 50-20 average guy.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Kobe,
and I'm saying that. I'm not saying that like just over exaggerating, but I'm thinking we're looking at a guy that could have averaged 50 points and 20 rebounds a game if he put the work in.
You're absolutely correct, and that's why Kobe got so frustrated with him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, if you took Shaq's body and gave him Mamba mentality, 50-20s are definitely not out of the question. Definitely not out of the question.
Couldn't imagine him having that kind of mentality. I mean, you could have probably seen a couple 100-point games from him.
Probably so.
And a couple $1 million worth of backboards need to be replaced.
All right, but we're here to talk to Coach Dodge. Enough about Shaq.
Oh, yeah, my bad, guys.
No. So you already given us some clues to possibly this question, but want to know what your favorite sports team of all time is. I have a feeling it could be one of your local or personal connections, but maybe I'll be proven wrong here. Do you have a favorite franchise, Coach Dodge?
Yeah, you're right. The Capitals.
Okay, all right. I thought that might be coming.
Well, I want to say, because I know, I'll jump back. We talked about favorite athletes, and Eric, you said you were surprised that he didn't say Ovechkin.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite? Now I'm jumping off the script now too. We're going to add another question in here. Do you have a favorite Capital of all time?
Tom Wilson.
Oh, okay. Well.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
He came in strong and funny, and I always admired how he played.
All right.
That's
cool.
Be nice if he could stay on the ice.
Yeah, that is the problem with him.
I guess. Geez, Eric, I know I threw in an extra question, but it's still my question.
Yep, still on your turn.
Jumping back to the personal questions again. Did you play any sports growing up?
I did. I swam in high school. I swam for United States teams and did rec and summer levels as well. I played field hockey and then did various martial arts.
Oh.
You swam? If you don't mind me asking, diving a little bit further on this question, what level did you get to with the U.S. national swim team? And I'm not fully versed on how it works, but is there an under 18 or something like that squad?
Yeah, so I was always in the under 18. I actually swam in like the 15 to 18 when I was about 12 because they kept wanting to swim me up. Which was frustrating in some ways, but also really exciting.
Sure. No, well, it's complimentary too. They wanted to put you in among people you weren't just going to destroy. And it sounds like anybody your age swim laps around them. Well, no, that's super impressive. Actually, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Well, I have one more question for you, and then we're going to kick it over to Bob for the last one. But my last question for you, Coach Dodge, if you were cooking a special meal for my friend Big Bob here, what would you go to? What's your signature dish? Do you have like a premier thing, a show off move that you would go to, or maybe you just order something? Tell me how you'd handle that situation, Coach Dodge. You need to impress Big Bob. Cook him a special meal. What's on the menu?
Well, I think if he's calling himself the Fat Man, I'm just going to make a huge feast. There's going to be cheeseburgers and steak and mashed potatoes and Chinese food and corn and just anything that sounds good. I'm putting it on the table.
Well, I think you may have just made my friend Bob a happy man.
Ding! We got a winner. Well, last question here. Another fun one. Do you have a top 5-ish musical artist of all time?
Oh yeah, easy. Sage Francis, Kill Switch Engage, Tech 9, Falling in Reverse, and Bring Me the Horizon.
What's the word, Eric? They're kind of all over the place there.
Eclectic. Eclectic might be the word.
I was going to say eclectic, but I wasn't sure. What's the word whenever somebody is like eccentric? Never mind. I'm just an idiot. Yeah, that was an eclectic group there. So
it is. I mean, Kill Switch Engage. That's something you'd listen to, Bob. Come on.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, I guess most people don't really. Sage Francis. What's he about?
So he's kind of like a nerd rapper. He was a journalist turned rapper. So it's just really interesting, well thought out lyrics and beats. He's pretty impressive. You should check him out.
There you
All
go,
right,
folks.
I definitely will. I know. Well, in addition to learning something about Coach Dodge today, we also all got a little bit of musical homework to do too. Expand our horizons in that way. I'm gonna have to get on Spotify after this. But,
there you go.
but this, ladies and gentlemen, has been 21 questions with Coach Dodge. It might have turned into 23 questions, but hey, that's fine too. Jordan's number, maybe that's appropriate. Maybe we should change it actually to Jordan's questions or something. But
that's a great idea.
It is, right? There you go. But what also was a great idea, and it was your idea, Bob, was to bring Coach Dodge in today. I'm glad we did. Very good speaking with you. It's been, like I said at the start of this, Coach, it's been great having you be a part of SimWorld. And for me, it was truly great to get to talk to you and learn a little bit more about you today. And I suspect that's going to be the case for everybody out there that's going to be listening to the podcast. And thank you so much for being part of the world. And thank you so much for the time today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, well, I want to appreciate. First, I want to thank Coach Dodge for being here. Eric, thank you for doing this with me as always, and I hope that everybody has a good rest of their weekend.
Enjoy it, folks. We'll be back next weekend, Christmas weekend, the Christmas special coming up.
Oh yeah, later, folks.